Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today we're making a card for all those music lovers out there. We have a 12 by 12 collection from Photoplay Paper. It's called Music Notes. And I thought we would make two 5 by 5 cards. So we're going to make square cards. And we're going to be using some of the coordinating ephemera that goes with it. We're not going to use any stickers today. We're going to switch it out. I'm going to create my card bases with the coordinating Music Notes My Colors cardstock. We're going to be using the wine, which is this very top color here, to create the card bases, and then we're going to pick out some pattern papers. I went ahead and picked out our pattern papers that we're going to be using for our cards, and then I also created our card bases. Today we're using the 5 by 5. And the My Colors cardstock's great because they're 12 by 12 sheets, and I just trimmed mine down to a 10" by 5" and then scored it down the middle. Okay, since we are using a little bit of a dark color, it's called wine. I did cut out a piece of white cardstock that was a little bit smaller, and then I'm just going to tack this on the inside of my card. You don't have to add the white cardstock. I think if you were to use a white gel pen and write a message, I think that would be nice too. So these are our 5 by 5 card bases that we made with the My Colors cardstock. Now the pattern paper that we're going to be using today, I'm going to tell you the names. And these are all 12 by 12 sheets. This one is Staccato. We're going to be using this. I'm also going to be using Sharp Color. I'm going to use a little bit of the reverse side of Sharp Color here. And then I'm using the Instruments, the wood grain pattern paper, and we're also using a couple cut aparts today to create our cards. These work perfect for 5 by 5 cards. I'm going to trim this one out here, and I'm also going to trim out this piece here. If you have a square die, you could actually die cut this out and leave the frame intact. So we'll be using this for our card, one of our cards today. Okay, so those are our papers. We're going to jump in with our first card. I trimmed down a piece of pattern paper that measures 4.5 inches squared. This is going to go directly on the front of my card base. We'll just adhere this. I love framing my pattern papers. Next, I have a piece of this pattern paper. This is a 1.5 inch strip. I'm going to add some adhesive right down the middle, and I'm going to layer this right down the middle of our card. This is 1.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So it's going to be the width of my square card base. Okay, this is our cut apart sheet. I trimmed it out, and I love the circular greeting that's around here. I put foam tape behind here. We're going to layer this right in the middle. And then I have a piece of the same wine cardstock from My Colors cardstock. This is a 1 inch strip. And rather than I'm going to add adhesive to one side of it, and we're just going to tuck this right down the middle of that pattern paper. This is a great way to stretch your cardstock. Now with the leftover piece, I'm going to fishtail it right at the bottom. I went ahead and trimmed the bottom of this fishtail. And we're just stretching our cardstock. If you wanted to use that full strip and go the length, you very well could. But this is a nice way to stretch your cardstock. We'll just add this right down the middle, and it looks like it's a continuous banner here. And then we have our ephemera. Some of the ephemera in our ephemera pack you punch out, and it leaves those little marks. To fix that, I'm going to bring in some ink, okay? I'm using a dark brown Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to go over the edges. And what this does is just colors in those little tags from where we punched it out, and you can't tell. And you really can't tell that you punched it out at all. I did pop this little piece up with foam tape, and we're going to layer it right over the center of this record player. After we have this adhered, we're going to do the same thing with the ink on this greeting. We're just going to go over the edges. Now I'm going to take that banner after we ink the edges. I'm going to layer a piece of vellum behind it. This just kind of softens it. And then I'm going to fishtail the ends of this. So we layered our banner. Now this is going to go straight across that music note, kind of at an angle. So I did put foam tape on the left and the right. And then we're going to add some adhesive right down the middle. And we'll just tack this kind of at an angle right over that middle. For finishing touches on this card, I'm bringing in some sequins. These have a little bit of an iridescent hue to them. And we're going to add just a couple. So now we have a little sparkle. I am going to take a white gel pen and I'm going to add some faux stitching along this banner here. And I'm also going to go around the circle area. We're going to do some faux stitching around here also. Lovely. And that will finish our first card. Super fun. When you open it, you can have plenty of room to write your message. Now we're going to jump on to our next card. For my next card, I created a square measuring 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 with this pattern paper. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of our card base. I'm just going to add a little bit of tape. Now I have my ephemera. I actually have these frames that I kept all together. I just cut out the inside piece. And what I'm going to do is bring back some ink. And I'm going to go around the edges. And I'll go around the outside edge too. Just darken these up. And then I have this frame also. Okay, this frame we're going to layer directly on this piece that we cut apart. It'll fit perfectly behind there. I did pop this frame up with some foam tape. This is like the perfect size for this frame that came in our ephemera pack. After we have this adhered, we're going to eventually stack this together like this. But before we do that, I did pop this one up with some foam tape because I do like lots of layers. We're going to remove the release paper, and this is going to go perfectly in the center of our card base. I have a 1-inch strip of that dark wood pattern paper, which is the same pattern that's on the inside of the frame. What we're going to do is line up this ephemera piece that says do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's so much fun. I'm going to line it up, center it, and then just using the banner as a guide, I'm going to fishtail the ends here. Just making a slightly larger banner. Okay, then I'll take this banner. I'm going to add some adhesive to the left and to the right. And I'm going to kind of angle it towards the bottom here. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece. We're going to add some adhesive behind the outside edge. And we're going to layer this right over the middle. We almost matted that piece there. After we have this done, I'm going to add adhesive to the left and the right. We'll add this right over our frame and in the middle of our banner. Okay, and then in our ephemera pack, we have a little black heart. I took this from that photo frame that was in the ephemera. I am going to go around the edges. And then I also die cut out 2 extra hearts. Okay, and what we're going to do is layer these 2 hearts. I have a piece of vellum as the largest, and this heart is the same cardstock that we used with the My Colors cardstock, and then we popped up the ephemera heart, which is black. We're going to add it in the center, just making a layer of 3 hearts. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back here, and I'm going to tack this down over that banner. And then for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some of the sequins, and we're just going to adhere a few. I'm also going to bring in my white gel pen, and we're going to go around the frame here, just adding some stitch detail. And that will finish off that card. So here's a look at both 5x5 square cards that we made today using the Photoplay paper, music notes pattern paper in the 12x12 collection, the coordinating cardstock, and also the music notes ephemera. Hope this gives you a little bit of idea and inspiration with this collection. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.